We do begin with the teacher who survived this and his personal plea to do something to make sure his students didn't die in vain. And his message to law enforcement tonight who waited. His interview with Amy Roebuck.
I said, if I die, don't let it be in vain.
Tonight, fourth grade teacher Arnulfo Reyes, who was shot multiple times by the gunman, says he cannot forgive law enforcement for taking more than an hour to stop the gunman who killed every student in his classroom. Mr. Reyes on how the day started.
It was going to be a good day because it was going to be our day of awards. And some kids in my class that hadn't gotten an award, all year, we're going to get an award that day.
And while some students went home after the ceremony, 11 from his class stayed behind. They were watching a movie.
The kids started asking out loud, Mr. Reyes, what is going on? And I said, I don't know what's going on, but let's go ahead and get under the table and act like you're asleep. As they were doing that, and I was gathering them under the table and told them to act like they were going to sleep, is about the time when I turned around and saw him standing there.
The gunman entering classroom 112 at 11:33 a.m., then making his way into 111 through a connecting door, opening fire, a bullet hitting him in the arm and lung, and a separate one striking his back.
I told my kids to act like they're asleep, so I'm going to act like I'm asleep also. And I prayed and prayed that I would not hear none of my students talk.
Did you thought you were going to die?
Yes, ma'am.
Then, while the gunman was still in the classroom, Reyes hearing police nearby. According to law enforcement, 7 officers were in the building by 11:35 a.m. They took gunfire and retreated. Reyes says a child in the connecting classroom, 112, called out for help.
One of the students from the next door classroom was saying, officer, we're in here. And then, but they had already left. And then he got up from behind my desk and he walked over there and he shot over there again.
At 12:03 p.m., a full 30 minutes after he entered the building, a child from room 112 calling 911, telling dispatch where she was. By this point, 19 officers were inside the building, but no one went in. At 12:10, 12:13, and 12:16, more 911 calls.
Is there anybody inside of the building? Child is advising he is in the room full of victims at this moment.
You know that they're kids, right? They're little kids. They don't know how to defend themselves.
You said you were praying.
I prayed the Lord's Prayer. I prayed my Hail Mary.
But it isn't until 12:50 p.m., 1 hour and 17 minutes after the gunman entered the classrooms, that Border Patrol busts in, killing the shooter.
Did you feel abandoned by police, by the people who are supposed to protect you?
Absolutely. After everything, I get more angry because you have a bulletproof vest. I had nothing. You're supposed to protect and serve. There is no excuse for their actions. And I will never forgive them. I will never forgive them.
How many students were in your classroom when the shooter came in?
11 students.
So the shooter killed every single student in your classroom.
Yes, ma'am. I lost 11 that day. And I just went to my parents and said, I'm sorry. I tried my best with what I was told to do. Please don't be angry with me.
Just the idea that this teacher is now hoping that the parents won't be angry with him gives you an idea of the anguish this teacher will carry with him for the rest of his life. And Amy Roebuck with us tonight. Amy, you told me that the teacher also said no amount of training in the world, and they'd been trained for something like this, but that no amount of training could have prepared them for this because it happens so fast.
That's correct. And he was trained to get his students under the table. And as he looks back now, as he reflects, he feels as though he was actually setting up his students to be sitting ducks. It's a painful thought indeed. And all the training in the world doesn't prepare you for that moment. He said it's the laws that have to change, and he is going to spend the rest of his life making sure those students and his fellow teachers did not die in vain, David.
All right, Amy Roebuck tonight. Amy, thank you. I know this was not an easy interview.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.